Alright, what is going on, motherfucking selective androgen receptor modulator broccoli here to ask motherfuckers that cover the dumbbells that I'm trying to use while they do their dumbass front lat spread. So we were back here at motherfucking Powerhouse Gym in Las Vegas, and we will be speaking about how to work your chest in non-analysis paralysis terms. So we are now going to be using a protractor to find the perfect angle to hit the sternocostal fibers. So let's get right into it, shall we? Let's go. So in simple terms, how do you work your fucking chest? So you press and you fly in different angles. Upper, mid, lower. Crazy if you think about it that way, right? You press and you fly in different angles, and you progressively increase in performance over time by eating and sleeping. I hope you don't overthink that, because you know what? If you develop analysis paralysis for my video, you know what? I hope you shit yourself. So we're gonna start off with the mid portion of the chest, the mid area. So how do you work that area more specifically? A flat bench type of movement. So you can do that on a barbell, and you can do it on a machine like this. Okay, so where do you want the handles aligned is very much determined where you honestly feel it best. Okay, so pay attention to your mind-muscle connection and pay attention to where you don't have unnecessary pain and where you feel the maximum amount of stress in the targeted area. So let's get right into it here. So I personally like it a little bit more on the lower portion where the handles are aligned. That's just me, but again, you need to mess around and find out where it honestly feels the best for you. Okay, so in simple terms, how do you work your chest? Stretch, explode, squeeze, stretch, explode, squeeze, stretch, explode, squeeze. So people will also go ahead and discuss whether they should have their elbows flared out or tucked. Again, it goes back to you. It goes back to me saying, okay, mess around and find out. Where do you honestly feel it best in the specific muscle, and what doesn't give you unnecessary pain? So for me personally, I like to flare my elbows out just a little bit more, not exactly tuck in, but that is what honestly works best for me. And it's been something that I've been doing for well over a decade now. Okay, so you don't want to do it on a machine chest press, you can do it on a flat barbell bench press. Again, so for this exercise, I generally wouldn't recommend it, especially if you're somebody that goes alone, because you know, all the time, it's a little bit more on the dangerous side, and a lot of people will have a little bit more of an ego to just use way more weight than they can handle. And you know, like I said, I'm not saying it's a bad exercise, but especially if you're trying to push your limits, make sure you do so safely. So if you're gonna do this exercise, 10 times out of 10, I would recommend that you have a spot so you can push as hard as possible and do so safely. So, yep, like I said, when it comes to finding where you want to be positioned on the bench press, again, mess around and find out. I personally like to have my hands a little bit more on the midway part between these lines, okay, and the silver lining here. Again, that's just me. And again, what you want to do is you want to have just a little bit of a slight arch at the lower back. Nothing crazy like a whole fucking, I don't know how those powerlifters do it, but just a little bit, and go, okay? And again, where I want the bar going down is going to be a little bit more on the lower chest portion. Some people will have it on the mid part. Again, mess around and find out, and where do you honestly connect the best to, and where do you feel the maximum amount of stress on the specific muscle. So you don't want to do it on a machine, you don't want to do it on a barbell flat press, flat fucking bench press, who the fuck says that? But you don't want to do it on those. You can do it on a dumbbell flat fucking bench press, you know what I mean? It really just doesn't matter. If you're hitting those targeted muscles through the given movements, that's really all that matters. It's just finding what you honestly enjoy the most, where you connect the best to, and what doesn't give you unnecessary pain. Would you look at that? Now we are moving on to the incline. Okay, where's that hitting? The upper chest. So we are on a machine incline chest press here, and in simple terms, what do? Elbows flared, tucked in. What do? You find what's comfortable. You stretch, you contract. stretch, explode, squeeze, stretch, explode, contract. Yes, my elbows are cracking. I am fine. It is not painful. It's just like cracking your fucking knuckles. You know, cracking your shit. I'm fine. I'm okay. I promise. You don't want to do it on an incline machine chest press, and you don't want to go to a fucking incline barbell press. Again, I just saw this little curved bar here. Doesn't matter if it's a curved bar or a straight bar. No, a straight bar can work. This just allows for a greater stretch. And I just didn't want to replace the bar because the bar was already there. I'm not gonna analyze, paralyze if it was a straight bar or a fucking curved bar, you know? So, in simple terms, lift that shit up. That was actually my first time trying that curved bar, and to be honest, it's like, I personally don't like it. And again, this is me just listening to my body here. And if I were to use a bar, it would just be a normal fucking straight bar, bro. But again, listen to your body here. You press in different angles. You make sure that you are not hurting. You adjust accordingly, and you stretch and you contract. That's crazy, right? So, you don't want to do an incline machine chest press, and you don't want to do an incline barbell press. Guess what? You can do an incline dumbbell press. Does it really fucking matter? No. So people will also ask things about what is the best angle to hit your upper chest on the incline adjustable bench here. So I'd say just mess around and find out. I like it better here. It's more of a 30-degree angle. I think that's where I honestly connect the best to, or I know that's where I honestly connect the best to when it comes to hitting the upper chest. Some people will have it a little bit higher, which is fine. I would say the higher it goes, the more shoulders you're gonna activate. Some people will have it a little bit lower. Again, does it really fucking matter? No. Choose what you honestly feel and connect the best to. Okay, a lot of people will say different things, but at the end of the day, you're gonna have to come up with a decision yourself. And if you consistently just need somebody to wipe your fucking ass for you, you're basically on life support. Learn to make decisions for yourself and see what honestly works best for you. Take advice with a grain of salt and apply it to yourself and see what works and what doesn't. Motherfucking analysis paralysis overthinker. Using a protractor to find the perfect angle to hit the sternocostal fibers, ass motherfuckers. Elbows flared. That works. Okay, excuse me, that was fucking elbows tucked in. What the hell am I saying? Tucked in. Flared. Where do you honestly connect the best to, and what doesn't give you unnecessary pain? Figure it out. Okay, and so we got the lower portion of the chest, and where am I here? A decline machine chest press. That's mind-blowing, right? You know what? Hopefully, I just hope you guys get the fucking spiel at this point. You press in different angles. That's how you work your chest, right? So, decline machine chest press. Explode, squeeze, stretch, explode, squeeze. Do you need me to say anything else? You don't want to do a machine decline press? You can do something like a decline barbell press. Okay, now, I wouldn't recommend this thing because, again, for me personally, I'm just really not a fan of it. I'm somebody that goes by myself. I'd rather much do a machine. I can push harder, and I can go to failure and not have to worry about getting choked out by a barbell. But again, to each their own. It's all gonna work the same fucking muscles anyway. Yeah, that's fucking weird. I wouldn't do that by myself, but again, to each their own. So you can do a decline dumbbell press. It's just not something I would honestly recommend. I'm just telling you, the pain and just the setup is just gonna be a whole fucking pain in the ass, and just don't waste your time doing that. Honestly, that's just me. But again, tomato. I mean, if you enjoy doing it and you can progressively increase, it's gonna work. Again, if you are targeting the specific muscles through a given movement, that's all that matters. I'm just saying the setup for a decline dumbbell press
would just be too much of a pain in the ass.
So we spoke about hitting the chest in different angles, predominantly through pressing movements. So we're gonna speak about the flies now. We're gonna hit the lower chest. So how do you do that? Okay, with a cable fly, right? In simple terms, have the cable set up high, okay? You're gonna bend your torso down. That's gonna hit your lower chest, okay? You're gonna have a slight bend in your arms on the starting point. You wanna get that stretch, and you wanna explode, and you wanna imagine that there's a pencil in between your titties and you're trying to crush the pencil in between your titties, okay? Stretch, contract, stretch, contract, stretch, contract. So, how do you work your upper chest? Through cable flies, all right? So, in simple terms, you have an incline bench because you're trying to hit your upper chest. Crazy, right? Anyways, mess around with the position and see where you honestly connect the best to. So you see what I mean? So when it's like that, I just don't connect to it as I want it to. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring the bench forward because I'm thinking for myself and seeing where I honestly connect the best to and where I honestly feel the maximum amount of stress on my upper chest. Okay, so that's a little bit better. Slight bend. Squeeze the pencil in between your titties. Slight bend. You get the point. Okay, so how do you work your mid-chest through a fly? So, something as simple as a pec deck, right? Chest up, horizontal. Slight bend in your fucking arms. Straighten out your arms, squeeze. Slight bend in your arms, straighten it out, squeeze. So, you can damn well do dumbbell flies as well. Is it something that I recommend? No, because with machines, you could, odds are, get much better contractions as compared to dumbbells. But again, there's nothing inherently wrong with doing dumbbell flies as well. It's really a preference thing. It's all gonna work. If you're hitting the targeted muscles through a given movement, regardless if it's through a machine or a free weight, it's all gonna fucking work, okay? If you are targeting your muscles with quality and you're pushing hard and you're progressively increasing over time, that's what matters. Regardless of whatever exercise you do, whether it's a machine chest press on a fucking specific model, or if you do it on a barbell incline press, are you progressively increasing in performance, doing quality work? Are you getting stronger over time? So that was chest training explained in the simplest way possible, in the way I can honestly break it down, motherfucking Barney style. So there's a lot of ways you can go about it, okay? So if you want to do a decline fly first and then do pressing movements after, that works. If you want to do an incline fly works and do pressing movements after in different angles, that all works too. There's a lot of ways you can go about it, and at the end of the day, you're not going to know if something works until you try it out and stay consistent with it. There's a lot of things people can go ahead and say, like, this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong, this is right. But until you actually try something out in action and put forth the necessary work forward rather than thinking and thinking, that's when progression actually matters, by putting forth action and seeing if it works or not. Thinking is never going to get you anywhere. Thinking and just sitting on your ass and contemplating if this is the perfect approach is not going to get you anywhere. Shut the fuck up, choose something, and work.
Don't forget to check out my link tree for coaching, ebooks, merchandise, all that good stuff. And I will be adding more to this list so I can continue to provide more value for you guys. So have a good one. Let's go.